stand back to
Well,
the video.
You can talk about that.
Yeah, you can totally talk bad about me, but not people are.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, she's working. She's a YouTube. Okay, so mechanism.
That was recording. That was an AI note.
This is stuff.
Good waffle. Love that one.
Rebecca's joining.
What?
Should bring some of the Shirley.
We're all set online. Good, great. Thank you, everybody. I'd like to call to order the Moab Tourism Advisory Board regular meeting for March 10th, 2026. Thank you for everybody for coming. We have a few people who might be joining us a little bit later. Let's do some introductions to see who's here first. My name is Linda Williams, Chair of the Moab Tourism Advisory Board.
Lori McFarland, Vice Chair of Moab Tourism Advisory Board, and Pike Point Hummer. TRT Collective or TRCCA Collective, sorry.
Cora Phillips, Director, Moab Chamber of Commerce and Board Member.
Jason Taylor, Board Member, Moab City Council.
Alex Borshevsky.
Vega Metzler, Director of the Moab to Mountain Valley Film Commission.
Nick Saleta, Moab Office Tourism.
Howard Trenholm, Board Member.
Ryan Martinez, Grand County Commissioner Liaison.
And online, I believe we have Rebecca.
Rebecca Monsto, Board Member.
And are we doing any introductions of anybody from
As well.
From yeah.
I think Alex is online too. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Somebody, oh, it was Alex Fuller.
Hi, I'm here. This is a listening call probably for me, but Alex from Tourist and Camp 4 here lurking in the background.
I'm here too. I guess I'll go next. I'm Jessica with Camp 4 and Tourist.
And I'm Heidi with Camp 4 and Tourist.
And Camp Stories, Courtney Campbell and Elitza.
Hi, everybody.
Here.
Nice to see
Hi.
everybody. Hi. We also have another new team member joining, Emily. I don't know, she might be in a waiting room. Just a heads up.
And this is Hussein Deniz.
And for those who are unfamiliar with the people who are joining us online, though, represent our branding and our agencies. So next, any conflicts or conflict of interest or disclosures from any of our board members?
For the 5 applicants are chamber members.
Oh, well, nice.
Okay, for the first item on our agenda, we have a few people in the room here and on Zoom who have applied for the open position of the Moab Tourism Advisory Board. As we've discussed earlier, this position must be collecting TRT revenues, and so all of the applicants seem to meet that objective. So I have 2 of them in here right now. So let's start with Alicia Beatty. Like to join us, and I don't know if those can you sit in one of the 8 vacant chairs.
No need room there. Hello.
Welcome. And we have your application, and for those who don't, we've got, and it's very informal. We're just gonna get to know you guys. I went through this process last year. It's really just to get to know you, or and who you are, what your background is. So that being said, first question, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what's your background?
So, born and raised Chicago girl. I finished
Chicago.
after finishing my master's out there, I was applying for jobs and I was supposed to take a temporary job out here in Moab for about 7 months. So 10 years later, I'm still here.
Like many of us.
Yeah. That old story. Just fell in love with the city, the people, and loved what I was doing. I worked out at Red Cliffs Lodge for about 8 years, started at the front desk. Wound up being the lodge manager at one point, transferred over to sales. And then about a year ago, was ready for a change. So then went over to a company called Vista Host. So it's a management company. And we represent 4 different hotels here in the area. And I do the sales and marketing for all of them.
And just if you want to say what those hotels are.
So Homewood Suites, Hampton Inn, Holiday Inn Express, and Expedition Lodge.
I'm allowed to ask questions, right?
What's that? Sure.
Oh, good. I think there's a new hotel alliance, Pam,
Yes, yes,
and that's kind of exciting. Can you include information about that?
absolutely. So it's new in the formation right now. So the Hotel Association of Moab, so we've recently been meeting to get together and form the association in a more official manner. I think our last meeting, we just voted in a president, and so we're just kind of getting all in alignment and discussing tactics and organizing so that we can all work together.
Number 2, and by the way, all the candidates have these questions in advance. What is your understanding of the Moab Office of Tourism and the Moab Tourism Advisory Board?
So the Moab Office of Tourism is going to be the DMO. This is where we market Moab, and then the Tourism Advisory Board is the people who advise where the money gets spent for marketing from the TRT and other tax collections.
What do you hope to bring to the advisory board, and what are you hoping to gain from your potential involvement on the board?
So I have a unique perspective because I do represent 4 separate hotels. So that means I have access to 4 different comp sets, which gives me a really good overview of the analytics and the patterns of how we book rooms here. So, I'm able to see booking windows, I'm able to see rates. And so that allows me to see those overarching patterns that we're going to see throughout the county. And I'd like to be a part of the board because my interest is in filling 4 hotels. And in order to fill 4 hotels, we need to bring more people here. And so I think being a part of that conversation could obviously be beneficial in both directions.
Right. Fourth question, within the context of tourism in Grant County, it's a 2-part question. What do you think are some of Moab Grant County's best assets and attributes? And what do you think are some of Moab Grant County's biggest challenges or obstacles?
Sure. So I should say it's the natural resources, but I think it's the people. The people are taking care of the natural resources. And they're also the ones that are community experienced for the people that are coming in. So I know throughout my 10 years here working in customer service, I know that the people are the ones that are making the difference, and they're the people that are bringing people back to the community. And I mean, challenge is I know coming from Chicago, I was like, what's a Moab? No idea. So I think getting that outreach can be a challenge, and then getting here as well, traveling to this destination. We have a drive market that we cater to often as from the marketing perspective. And if they're not coming from the drive market, that can be difficult. If I'm trying to get a group to come out here and they have to come by plane, that coordination is, that's a hurdle often.
What is your understanding of tourism taxes, and how are those monies to be distributed and allocated? So tourism taxes, typically part of it goes to marketing and part of it goes to mitigation. I'm sales and marketing, so
I think the more money spent on marketing, you know, a little bit biased in that, but the more money spent on that, the more money gets brought in. So I think that one tends to be prioritized in my mind.
And last one's a really hard question. Are you prepared to serve as an officer of the advisory board if nominated? Is there anything in your schedule that would not permit you to attend board meetings on the second Tuesday of each month from 3 to 5, or any special meetings that may be called for? Right. Anything else?
I met Felicia at a conference and we started immediately talking about data. And is that one of the fair questions that we can include and expand on about what her, I think you had like a.
Not now.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
So everybody's gonna ask something.
Okay, that's
Same
fine.
question. Right. Thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it. Nice meeting you.
You too.
And I understand any question that we ask one person, we have to ask all of the elements.
Okay.
Jennifer.
Yeah.
You go by Denny or Jennifer?
Jenny, fine.
Okay. Jenny, you have the same questions, and it's a very difficult question. Again, very low key here, to get to know you. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you. I relocated here from Ogden about 8 years ago. This is my 8th year. And a little bit about my background from there is actually why I want to serve here, because I was a city council member for West Haven City for 12 years. And we were only a 2-year-old city. So we didn't have any money to do anything. We didn't have any ordinances, no city plan, nothing. Well, we were 2 years in, we were working on it. So I got involved way back in the 90s. I went to a couple city council meetings and fought for sewer in my neighborhood so I could hook up to the sewer. And there was a development going next door to us, that a brand new lot that I wanted, and perk test wouldn't pass. So I petitioned the city council and the sewer board several times and got sewer at my house. So I was the first house in West Haven to actually be able to flush my toilet. But it was a lot of work. I had to do a lot of research on how I could hook in and Utah law. And I learned a lot about all that piece of it. At the same time, just before that, in order to be able to purchase that land, I was living with my new husband in South Ogden City, and we were slated to be eminent domain and have to move. And that's where I really started looking up Utah law to see how that works, to see what our legal rights were.
So was this after your toilet flushed or before?
This is right before. I missed that part. I skipped. I'm backing up a little tiny bit. But how I got into community service, right, is I represented my community in this eminent domain thing with South Ogden City. And we were very successful with the developer. They had to come in and, you know, pay us what we needed, and we were able to move. So then I took that money and went and bought a lot in West Haven City, and then went through the whole sewer thing. So my experience with working with city councils and sewer boards and all different districts is where I really loved it. And so then I built a house, West Haven City, and the mayor approached me and said, you should be on the sewer board. So I got on the West Haven Special Service District Board. Then I ran for city council. So I was a city council member for 12 years. So in that capacity, I was in charge of the trails and the recreation department and writing the grants and the events, because there's only 5 of us, and we had roads and streets and all the different infrastructures, right? So I wrote a lot of, so I wrote, yeah, so it was, and you know, I loved every minute of it. It was hard, right? Because you're deciding what your neighbors that you live next door to you can and can't do when you're writing ordinances, and what the aesthetics of your city is going to look like, and where they can build storage units and where they can build, you know, a 5-acre house. So we went through all that, and I really loved it. But I wrote lots of grants for recreation so we could have a recreation department. I wrote millions of dollars of grants for our trail systems that run through the city. So I was really involved in that for a long time. Towards the end of that, I was approached by somebody to run a homeless shelter. So I ran a homeless shelter for 11 years up in Ogden. It was St. Anne's, and then it turned into the Lantern House, which is the biggest homeless shelter in Utah, even bigger than the one in Salt Lake, to be honest. It didn't look at the number of beds, but I did that for 11 years. Went through some major life changes. My boys left the house, and I was actually coming to Moab once a month. I was driving down here every chance I got. I was coming down and hiking, and jeeping, and side-by-siding, and everything recreation, right? So I was coming down here so much that I thought, okay, I just need to be here. So I applied for a job, got a job with Picasa, and was their general manager for 4 out of the 5 years that I was there, and left in 2024, towards the end of 24. And now I am the property manager at River Canyon. I think I do. You might remember me. But so I'm over there now, and I play a lot. I work really hard. I work a lot, but I also spend a lot of time out doing recreation. And I just thought, you know what? I saw the opportunity, and I thought that would be something I think I would love, and I could bring a lot to the table. That's a long background, but it kind of tells you what my experience is in, really, community service. So
I'll ask you the same question. What is your understanding of the Moab Office of Tourism and the Moab Tourism Advisory Board?
well, it's a good question, and I'm gonna be honest. Until you approached me last night, I thought, I don't know if I really understand what the difference is. I know what the general objective should be. I know that the Office of Tourism promotes and markets to different markets around the world globally and tries to bring in visitors to Moab. And everybody has their complaints and their ideas about what could be done different, what they're doing and what they're not doing.
No, you don't.
And you know, I think that they started that big campaign years ago with the Big Five and promoting Utah, and I think they did a good job, but I think that there's a lot more that needs to be done. And I think that sometimes that with all that's going on, they forget what the local community needs and how to address it and where we need to work on. And we're the recreation mecca of the world, really.
Okay.
And we attract so many more visitors than just snowbirds or jeepers or bikers. We have it all. And sometimes I think that we could focus on certain things maybe a little bit better. When I say we, I mean all of us.
And what do you hope to bring to the advisory board, and what are you hoping to gain from your potential involvement on the board?
Just really to brainstorm with fresh ideas. I mean, I know that all of you work for awesome companies in the city, and you talk to all sorts of travelers just like I do. And we can actually glean a lot of information from what we hear from our visitors, especially our return visitors. And we live here, and so we think we know what they want and where we need to focus. But I think that between everybody that's on here, there's so much experience and knowledge in hospitality that we could bring a lot. And I think I could just be a small part of that.
Great. And within the context of tourism in Grand County, what do you think of some of Moab Grand County's best assets and attributes? And what do you think are some of Moab Grand County's biggest challenges or obstacles?
Love that question. I'm going to tell you honestly, I think the number one asset of Moab is absolutely and unequivocally their people. I think the people that live here and the people that work here are the most important asset that we have. And I think that housing is such a problem that we're losing really good people that we could try to keep here to build on the experience and the knowledge of living here. I mean, it's taken me 8 years before I really felt comfortable as a resident. Moving here right off the bat, you don't feel like a local. It takes a while to feel like a local. And I think that our biggest assets are people, and we need to focus on that. And I think our attribute is obviously Moab itself, right? We have more to offer than most tourist destinations. We have way more recreational opportunity here than any place else you would want to go. And I think that that's just such a huge attribute to Moab.
And what is your understanding of tourism taxes and how those monies are to be distributed and allocated?
Well, to be honest, I don't really know where they go exactly.
Okay.
It's a great question to know where they go. Sometimes I wonder where the number of millions of visitors we bring in, where is that money at and where's it going and how's it being spent? I know what the TRT tax is. Obviously, we all collect it and we know how much we probably all bring in, but in a whole, where does that go and how does it get spent? I don't know.
I'll make sure to let you know.
I mean, I'm sure you all know.
No, it should be published.
Yeah, I mean,
We're
the
trying to
public should
understand.
know. Well, because when they see that the Arches last year brought in 4 million visitors, that's just to one park, and we had 2. And we bring in Jeepers and bikers and everybody else that never goes into the park. The millions of visitors we get and the amount of money that we generate from that, I'm sure the locals would love to know where it goes. Because in the meantime, they're complaining about roads and sewer systems and water systems. And now the new light fixtures. And so there's so many things that are going on that it would be nice if more people knew exactly where that was going.
Right. And the hardest question of all, are you prepared to serve as an officer of the advisory board if nominated? And is there anything in your schedule that would not permit you to attend board meetings on the second Tuesday of each month from 3 to 5 p.m. or any special meetings that may be called for?
I think community service is really important. And we make time. And I'm off on Tuesdays. Day out. So I just ran down here. So yeah. But I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you. I will talk to you. Thank you.
And we have a few that aren't here, we do have Hussein online.
Yes.
Or do you go by Denny or Hussein?
I make people more comfortable. Which one is easier? Maybe the last name Denise is most common and easier. Please, anything closer is okay, accept it.
Okay, well, thank you for coming, and I know you're planning to be here in person, and thank you for zooming in. So we are asking the same questions to every candidate, and so I'll start off by just asking you to tell us a little bit about yourself and what's your background.
Sure. Primarily, I really wanted to be there personally, but unfortunately, very last minute, an occasion happened, and I should go out of town. And if there's any disconnection or anything happens, please apologize, accept my apologies first. My name is Hussein. I am in Moab for last 8 years. I started a small business, and by the years, it's grown and grown. Thank you for Tourism Advisory Board, Grand County Economics, and every officials that really helped out last couple of years to support our business. And within this growth, I grew my business as well. And currently, my biggest operation is a boutique hotel, which is for 27 years served in the tourism hospitality of Moab. So I am owner and operator for this occasion. And also, I am degree tourism and hotel management and working in other continents for tourism and hospitality more than 22 years. This is my background.
And what is your understanding of the Moab Office of Tourism and the Moab Tourism Advisory Board?
Sure. First of all, I want to let you know, I didn't prepare any pretty nice wordings on it, but I will be very straight and plain. So for the Moab Office of Tourism is a department of Grand County, which is responsible for travel, destination, and supporting the local tourism economy. That's my understanding. And of course, typical responsibilities is destination marketing and advertising campaigns, managing visitor information, tourism branding, coordinating with the tourism agencies, marketing partners. This is my understanding. And for Moab Tourism Advisory Board is citizen advisory board that advises the Moab Office of Tourism and Grand County on tourism strategy and spendings. And the structure built on lodging, recreation businesses, restaurants, chamber of commerce, key activities. I think reviewing tourism initiatives monthly, and then annual budget workshops, evaluating TRT funded tourism spendings, and then helping out strategies and policies and plans to Moab local economy.
Right. The next question is, what do you hope to bring to the advisory board, and what are you hoping to gain from your potential involvement on the board?
Well, I hope to bring a practical, solutions-focused perspective to the advisory board, along with a willingness and collaborate support organization's mission. Through my experience field, I developed insights to strategic growth opportunities for destinations before in my previous experiences, and at the same time hoping to gain opportunity to learn from experienced board members, leaders who brings diverse perspectives.
Much. And then within the context of tourism in Grand County, it's a two-part question. What do you think are some of Moab Grand County's best assets and attributes? And what do you think are some of Moab Grand County's biggest challenges or obstacles?
To me, Moab and Grand County best tourism assets, it's a world-class natural landscapes, such as Arches National Park and Canyonland National Park, which attract visitors from around the world. That's my really main recognition. And outdoor recreation opportunities like hiking, mountain biking, and off-roading, rafting, camping activities, and scenic red rock deserts, small town charm with the tourism infrastructure, and year-round adventure appeals, like trail activities attract both casual tourists and serious enthusiasts. That's the biggest assets, and I think where Moab and Grand County is.
And in terms of challenges?
For the challenges, I would definitely go by mentioning about several significant challenges in obstacles are tourism pressure and environmental conditions, which we have a lot of visitors, and in the same time we have very delicate environment. In the same time, we have to really organize very well, like visitor satisfaction, but in the meantime keeping the resources and then environment.
You're cutting out a little bit here. I think we might have lost you.
How about now? Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you now.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, I was saying lastly, housing and affordability. That's one of the biggest challenge I do see. In the meantime, the balance, I think, is the key word. Like visitor satisfaction, making really good quality of tourism, but in the same time, keeping the environment and resources. These are the biggest two challenges I do assume for Grand County.
Right. And the next question, are you good? Okay. Next question is, what is your understanding of tourism taxes, and how are those monies and how those monies are to be distributed and allocated?
Again, in my just couple of minutes ago, the balance in it is I think is such a key role, which is visitors. We get most of our visitors from the visitors. Taxes are from the visitors, and then the infrastructure is very crucial. What I would love to say is, I think spending TRT taxes is advertising campaigns, attract visitors, but in the same time, keeping the infrastructure and public services in the high quality and creating some benefits for residents. This should be the goal, and this should be distributed very balancedly. This is my understanding.
And last question is, are you prepared to serve as an officer of the advisory board if nominated? And is there anything in your schedule that would not permit you to attend board meetings on the second Tuesday of each month from 3 to 5 p.m. or any special meetings that may be called for.
Last quarter, there was one. I am just agree with one of our current board member in your board from Goldman Sachs small business scholarship, and that really gained me a lot. And other than that, I have nothing. Basically, yes, there is no any obstacle that I can be involved in every meeting.
Well, thank you for joining us from a car, I'm assuming.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm so sorry for that. But thank you for your flexibility and understanding. If there is not understood part of it, just text me, email me. I will definitely get back to you for your answers.
Right. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Do you want me to leave the meeting or keep it in?
What was that?
Do you want him to stay in the meeting?
No, that's not necessary. You can drive safely wherever you're going.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
We do have another two people who have applied. Brennan, who is the general manager for Soil River Ranch, is actually doing a fan meeting as we speak. He was going to try and make it in. He said he was going to be here, but he's not here right now. And we also have Leslie Leak, who is the Gravity House manager. I don't know if we should try and contact them, or do we have people present?
It's put at the top of the agenda, but that's, I didn't see them.
Yeah, it's at-
It was scheduled for the top of the agenda.
Yeah, sorry. Welcome, any thoughts, how we'd like to move forward? Are we making a vote right
We
now?
can decide at the meeting if people show up later, if they're coming in on the fam trip, we can maybe make the decision for them. Yeah.
That's right.
It's up to you.
Yeah, that's a good idea in case they get caught up. Is that okay? So, need to have a legislation for that, or this, we're going to postpone that for a bit. Sure. Is it ready for that?
Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming in today. I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing. And you're welcome to stay and listen to the boring parts or not. Okay. Next item on the agenda today is the review MTEP presentation for the commission. And basically, what's that?
We approved the minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yes, I didn't do that. Right. Yeah, thank you very much. My first meeting around here.
No.
Yes, I had a chance to go through the minutes, and I'd like to say, I know Allison is in Paris, but she did a really good job with collecting all the minutes from not only the meetings that we've had, but from also the separate workshops. And so I'd welcome any motions if you want to approve any of the, we have quite a few of them to approve today.
Except one amendment.
We have the minutes from the February 10th workshop, the February 10th regular meeting, the January 13th workshop with Camp 4 Tourist, the January 13th regular meeting, and the January 12th workshop with Camp. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different meetings.
Cora has one amendment suggestion.
Yep.
My only amendment is for February 10th. I was quoted, but I could not find that quote.
It's for February 10th. What was that?
There's a quote for me included, but I could not
Were
find
you
myself.
included?
You couldn't find yourself saying it?
Correct,
When you watched it?
correct.
You were here, I can vouch. That
Well, that's
was,
something that I would normally say, so that's how and then I watched it to make sure I didn't, and I did not say it.
Did someone else say it?
No,
Very good.
so it just has to be removed.
That's okay. The quote that she's attributed on the February 10th meeting.
Boringly accurate.
Boringly accurate.
It's not something she would normally say, and so she listened to the meeting and she didn't hear herself say that. So I think you're asking that to be stricken because.
Correct, yes.
Because she doesn't want to be boringly accurate. I can't imagine. Performance quoted, guys.
So do we want to, about the other, any motions for the other, minutes other than the February 10th to,
You can approve it with the amendment.
what's that?
You can approve it with the amendment and you can vote on that.
Do we have to do them individually or do we?
All in lumps together.
All once, right?
I make a motion
Okay.
to approve with the amendment that I said
February
earlier,
10th.
From February.
from February 7th, 2026.
Which February 10th meeting is that? The regular meeting or the workshop?
The workshop.
So there is a motion on the floor to approve all minutes.
Yes, second.
Seconded by Howard, for all 5 of them with the February 10th workshop meeting amended to change the wording that's not attributed to one. Seconded by Howard, all those in favor?
Aye.
Like,
Aye.
Might have a second after this one.
Yep.
So I just
And
have,
Sharon also joined. I don't know.
Oh, Sharon is chiming in, okay, great. So did she get any thumbs
she
up
vote?
from,
She's giving a thumbs up.
Give a thumbs up.
what's that, yes? Yes. Okay, and we got one, thumbs up from Rebecca as well?
Yes.
Okay, so it's unanimous. Yes, ma'am.
I just asked Stephen Stocks to come on in and just answer a couple of questions just on the board appointments. So Stephen, we just had interviews for the 9th member on the board. And a couple of questions is, one is, does the board need to vote immediately after the interviews?
So best practices would be to vote after you guys have heard the information. It's the most fresh now in your mind. The other reason why you probably want to vote while you guys have processed the information, received the information, would be so that there wouldn't be any miscommunications or any allegations that you guys have met outside of the meeting and determined who you're going to vote for. It's cleanest to probably do it in this meeting today. Is it required? No, it is not required. It is not an absolute must. But it is a very small town. This is a very impactful board, and there has been questions about process, and so the best practice advice would be to handle it today and have the discussion today. Is it required mandatory? No, it is not.
It's a waiting for other people to come who haven't been interviewed.
They don't have to be here to,
Or online, depending on they interview some people.
because I left.
Other people are still pending.
They just have to not here because they're in fan tours or whatever.
So if we vote now, then they're forfeiting
you
the
would-
opportunity, which is fine if that's what you think is a good idea.
What were they provided? What information did you provide them about having an opportunity to be interviewed?
That they'd be here at 3 o'clock to be in.
Okay. Did you guys give any information to them that they would be permitted to be heard if they showed up late? I mean, that's the requirement is when there's an interview process, you're informed of a particular time and date to be there. If individuals can't comply with that as applicants, just like in any job offering, they don't make it on time, then they don't consider it. But I would say the caveat of that would then, had somebody provided them information that, hey, it's fine, our meeting's gonna last however long, you drop by whenever it's okay. If anything like that has been provided to them, and I think it's a kind of a fairness question as well. Whatever we've told the applicant on their ability to be heard and be processed, you want to stick to that as best you can. But if they failed to show up at a particular time and they were given that notice and an opportunity to be interviewed, or in the past, not on this board, but other boards, there's been an opportunity to submit like a video recording, and people failed to do that. I think it's fine to make a decision. It's 40 minutes after 3 o'clock. You could do a number of different things. You could put it to the last item on your agenda in hopes that they show up. You could say, no way, 40 minutes late is too late. You could decide it now. You could theoretically wait another day and have another day and time for them to show up. But the more time and the more the different way in which you provide them an opportunity to be heard, the other people that have previously been interviewed, they might start complaining about, oh, they did 2 weeks to prep for it and I watched their interviews. So as much that we can stick to the fairness and consistency across the board is the most critical aspect of it.
I'd like to entertain a motion.
Yeah, entertain a motion.
I would make a motion to nominate Felicia Beatty as our 9th member as the CRC collector and as a marketing person. And second.
We have a motion on the.
Thanks, Steve.
That's wonderful.
Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, thank you. We have a motion on the floor for Felicia Beatty. Now Felicia was the candidate who spoke first, who works for VistaQuest. And the motion is for her to be the 9th member of MTEP, seconded by Cora. Any discussion? Okay.
I feel like we had some really good applicants this time.
Really good.
Yeah.
What's that?
Said I felt like we had really good applicants
Yeah.
this time around. I think any of these folks would have been really good.
So well, it's great to have like expertise.
Yeah,
really good
really
expertise.
solid
Like, they all
expertise.
bring very different, it's really good. We're blessed this time to have, a few rather than just one person.
Super happy that they're TRT collectors
Yeah.
because I feel like we need that voice in our room. Finding people that are collecting this money and representing so many properties that this information, that you need people with the lift.
Well, and she represents 4 hotels. And 4 is great. So.
Right. And beyond that, she's very active with the Hotel Association of Managers.
So there, no other discussion, all those in favor
Oh,
of.
sorry, Hotel Association of Moab. Thank you, Vika.
Ham.
All those in favor of Felicia Beatty to be the 9th member of the Moab Tourism Advisory Board, raise your hand. 2, 4, 5.
Karen.
Hi.
And okay, that was a Rebecca.
Yeah.
Unanimous. Congratulations, Felicia, if you're watching online. Told you could leave, but congratulations. It's an honor to have you and your expertise and what you bring to the board, and so we look forward to it.
So let's do the commission for a vote, right?
Excuse me?
Still go to the commission for a vote.
Yes, it's still true. Sorry, I'm welcoming you a bit too soon. This does go to the vote authorized, but.
And then just one of the things that I have been adding into everybody, so there is a resolution 3349, which was in 2023. So any recommendations that we'll be making as this board to the commission, we should be notifying the staff, either the chair or staff, notify com admin that we will have these going up so that we can start that on October 1st. So.
Oh, okay.
Do it for October 1st?
On October 1st, we just need to notify the com admins of any upcoming board vacancies. We can get those out for next year. It seems like in a lot of the boards, we've waited until the end of the year to get that started. And there's a resolution that actually says we should have that information to com admin by October 1st. So I was just letting everybody know that so that we know moving forward.
And there are a couple of terms that are expiring at the end of the year.
Yep, so we can just put that kind of on our calendar.
Sure. Just a couple notes. Also, whenever we do receive any applicants, the full set of applicants goes up to the commission. So if there's a way to designate that certain individuals do not appear for an interview, I think that's fair to kind of note that.
Okay.
And then otherwise they're provided up as a recommendation. So just keep an eye on that as well. And then if somebody's there, individual board members are able to speak in their individual capacities. And then anybody else that appears on behalf of the board, like the chair or the vice chair, they have to, inform the body that the decision was the decision of that body. So they can't appear on behalf of this board and then make a different recommendation. Making that clear, there's no recommendation to do that. So that's all I had to add. There's nothing else. I will leave.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Mike,
Thank you.
for helping us clarify that. Thank you. All right. Computer. Next item on the agenda is the.
Question,
Yes,
Chair,
ma'am.
is it okay to keep the files of some of these people who have applied in case there's a vacancy or something, or have com admin keep track of them and just ping them if they're interested with vacancies and things like that? There are a lot of really qualified people. I don't know.
So for example, if one of them ends up not being able to take the. Because we've already had that happen once.
We had that
You have
happen.
to post it again. You just have to post it.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure, sure.
No, I'll let folks know that have already applied.
Sure.
This is
Right,
Yeah.
I mean, more talent, better.
You would pull up the tourism advisory group.
Cool.
Or do you have it? If not, I can. Okay.
What do you want pulled up?
The presentation, yep.
Question to add that. Yeah, it's commission just to give you. So,
The one thing we had talked about in here was that presenting to the commission regularly. And it was an opportunity for us to show what we've done in 2025, but also to show what the Moab Office of Tourism has done. Because they don't really right now have the opportunity to do that without a director. And the Moab Monument Valley Film Festival, Film Commission, sorry. And so I basically put this presentation together to go through a recap of 2025, highlighting the work that we and the board and the Moab Office of Tourism and our partners have done. And so I will just go to the next page. And again, this is kind of while I'm presenting it to the commission, it's really an opportunity to talk to the public because a lot of people don't know what MTAP does or why we exist. So some of this is just clear language that states who Moab is, Moab Tourism Advisory Board is, why we exist. The next slide just shows our what we consist of, and who votes, who doesn't. Again, once speaking to the public, I know the commission knows this, but a lot of people don't. So it's our opportunity to kind of show who we are. And then the mission, the next one is really just some brief mission statements that give a quick summary about some of the recommendations that we hope to achieve. The next slide,
Hold on one
orange
second.
one.
I'm just gonna switch this to.
I'll go through it quickly. It's not going to be
Let me.
long. The orange one before that. Thank you. Mission, basically just the some mission statements, like we want to build a sustainable economy, promote responsible visitation, ensure that tourism benefits the entire Moab community by supporting local businesses, creating job opportunities, investing in infrastructure and essential services. So just a really quick summary kind of what we hope to achieve. Next one. And these were just pulled from the objectives and the priorities that we put for 2026 for the TRT recommendations. So it's basically making sure that the Moab Office of Tourism and the Moab Monument Film Commission has the resources they need in order to grow TRT and TOCCA taxes. Now these next two slides are to be determined, but basically what I want to show here is the benefits of TRT. Why we have TRT, TRCCA, how it benefits the community. So what we've all talked about how we want to be better about communicating how tourism affects our community and how good that is. And so this is just an opportunity in the next two slides to show some graphs and talk about the benefits of TRT and TRCCA. So this is 2025. Again, while this is Moab Tourism Advisory Board, I'm trying to show what these guys at the Moab Office of Tourism and Film Commission and our partners have done in 2025. So first thing was new names. So before it was a Moab Area Travel Council / Grand County Economic Development. And we've changed that. One of the first things we did was change it to the Moab Office of Tourism. I think that was a really strong, great move because it's clarity for the public, professional credibility, and it aligns with modern destination management. So it's clear who they are and what they do. And then we changed our board to reflect that as well. So no longer, there isn't a travel council per se. So we changed our board to be the Moab Tourism Advisory Board. Again, just consistency with Moab Office of Tourism, making it clear for the public. And see. This was just basically an overview for the public. There's been a lot of discussion and misinformation or confusion, I should say, about what paid media is, what it constitutes or what it doesn't, what earned media is, and what creative services are. And so this was just to show in a one page what the Moab Office of Tourism their budget is and what that pays for, so that there's no confusion. And this is what paid media means. This is what earned media means. This is what creative services mean. So it's really clear, concise. This is who this office is. This is their budget, transparency. This is what it's being spent on. And then when we go on to new initiatives, this was the new TRT application process. Now, while the first year was a little messy, it was a little clumsy, but it was the first year. We expect that. But I think, Alex, you kind of drove this thought process of having a more transparent application process, and so now we have it. And these are just some highlights of, I think by having a public process builds trust and confidence in this. Written records can help strengthen compliance with Utah statute. And it just reduces confusion and these ad hoc requests that keep coming at us. If you have a standardized process, then it makes a lot. Next one is the new grants, which we'll be talking about later today. The main things for me were encouraging wider range events, attracts new and first-time events, supports economic diversification, and increases return on TRT investment. So this will hopefully attract some, by lowering the barrier for some smaller or other organizations, we can get some new events in town. One of the new initiatives with the travel guides, again, it keeps us competitive. There's a lot of destinations that already have these, and so as we, come into competition with other, like-minded mountain guide biking type areas, it's a really good thing. And new website. Now, there's still a lot of kinks, still a lot to work, we think, to do here, but I think with the new branding that'll be coming on board, it'll improve the look and feel and what this looks like. But then the new widget here is going to hopefully give us some real-time data that we can change our messaging and know what people are looking for in advance, so we can hopefully market to them specifically. And next one, we've got new billboards. Now, again, this was kind of a stopgap measure, as you all recall. This was kind of just thrown at us. We need new billboards immediately. Per the new commission's directive of having a new welcoming message, we put these billboards in place pretty quickly. Not necessarily, it was very quick. Not what we're going to have long term as a stopgap measure. I think it's fine. It's welcoming people to Moab, which is what we want to do. And again, this will all change with our new branding. And then new sales initiatives. I don't think a lot of people, even I didn't know that 90 travel professionals were brought here to Moab, and that these guys entertained people from all these different countries. So this kind of just gives a snapshot of, that's what these guys are doing. So on a regular basis. They're doing outbound sales missions, inbound, and trade shows. Then the next one is Who is Moab, which is actually really exciting. These are really great new 4-part kind of small documentary series. I'm excited to see how they're going to be used. I think that they've done so well. We want to make sure we capitalize on how we use these assets, but they're really, it's kind of exciting. The next one is just to show kind of the commission / the public, what also the agency selection. This was an arduous process for anybody involved. There were 83 agency RFP applicants. There were over 20 interviews. Mick himself answered over 300 agency questions. Mick, what would you say would be the average page number for each one of the presentations that we received?
It was limited to 30.
Yeah. So after the first one, which I think we'll have might see it. So yeah, if you think about that, we had to go through 83 presentations of over 30 pages, and it was quite a process. But it was also not a process that was just Mick and a few people. So the next slide shows the selection committees. Just wanted to make sure that people understood this was not done behind closed doors. This was not done with just Mick and Allie. This was done with commissioners, with the clerk auditor, with the Tourism Advisory Board, with comms admins. We even used our Utah Office of Tourism help with branding, as well as our media agency. So this was a long process, a lot of meetings, and a lot went into it. And Mick handled this amazingly. There was a lot to organize and a lot to do here, and just hats off to Mick for how he did that. These are our agencies. I just want to, when I talk to the commission, just want to, mention that Mavin, it represents over 280 DMOs around the country. That are Camp 4 tourists, the people that are involved in that help create the Mighty 5 campaign as well as the Road to Mighty. And that all three of these are experts, true experts in the travel and tourism industry. And so we feel blessed to have this level of expertise working for us, now all working together. And then next is just some marketing results, and these we've already seen, but it's put together for the commission. First one was over 500 ads created, and Nick, again, I'm gonna refer to you. How many ads previously prior to Matt coming in halfway did they create? Basically 5 ads?
It wasn't a lot.
So a handful of ads.
Yeah.
And we went from a handful to 500. And this is where I would like to give credit to Brian Martinez, Commissioner Martinez, who we all know in the very beginning of this year last year when we went through this process of looking, do we actually, in the halfway year point, change to a new media agency? It was a hard decision. That was very, it was up there, a lot of risk there. And I think we all can say now that it was the strategic right choice for us. Nick will agree to that, but the way Madeline has represented us and worked with us, we're very excited. And they've done a lot of great things. So this is just a little bit of snapshot of their stuff. And I want to point out that all this is just July to December. I'm only quantifying because that's all I can quantify with them at this point. I'm not doing full year. I'm just going to show the results that they provided us. And that the 30,000 room nights is only, those are quantifiable, meaning that they had to click. They know these people clicked on something to reserve and through what their channels. That does not include anything of somebody seeing an ad and wanting to come to Moab or booking a hotel or a flight or anything. This is just quantifiable these people clicked on. So the overall effect is much greater. This is just some of the smaller what we can quantify. And then the PR firm, right, different, this just shows the stuff they presented to us. The number of online pieces, the Wall Street Journal, Traveler, Outside. Go to the next one. But I also want to point out that PR is not just about getting good coverage, it's about getting the right coverage. And so during the shutdown with Melissa and the PR firm, we were able to get really good, accurate information out there to dispel the other misinformation that we were closed or, that Utah we were open. So we used PR in an effective way, in a proactive way to make sure that we helped maintain our economy. And the next one is just the Christmas light campaign and the results from that. I don't know if the PR agency gave us a link so that we can, all this information is available to all of us as a board. So you can go and click the link. It's a really great way to see all of their results. And it shows it in a probably better way that I could put together, but just wanted to show some of the different ways it was highlighted. And they chose certain markets, so like Dallas and Los Angeles, and I can't remember some of the other ones, but they got great coverage. And so, yeah, it was great to see. And then this is sitting here with the one person who runs the Moab to Miami Film Festival. Just the diversity of the type of projects that come here, and keep very big projects. I mean, Godzilla versus King Kong is huge, and that will bring us on the map when it comes out. But just I mean, Red Bull commercial, Bear Grylls. I mean, what people the next slide will show you some of the quantifiable things that Biga was able to provide. But again, what we were talking about too is, okay, so Bear Grylls comes here and he's doing that. It's gonna, I can't quantify that people are coming here, that they're booking hotel rooms because of that, but they are. They're gonna see that and go, I wanna go there, I wanna go. So the value of that is just, it's pretty amazing. And the movies as well. And then lastly, I'm just gonna end with kind of, go to the last page. It's just making sure we're working to bring our TRT, TRCCI taxes, making sure they're increasing. We're attracting the right visitors. We're introducing a new brand. We're excited about America 250, World Cup, partnerships with UOT. Just really a summary of, this is what we've done in 2025 and where we're going in 2026. So that's now I'd like to know what you like included, excluded, anything else. What would you like anything we would want to put in there more or less?
I would love to focus again on the contribution of mitigation.
What, mitigate?
You had a really great brainstorm and said, even though we can give 100% of this TRT money towards promotion, you said, let's maximize the contribution to mitigation to help the community. And I sort of think that's one of those things that doesn't.
Maximum amount available by law, that's what we recommended, yeah.
That shows a certain amount of
Well, to be fair. I mean,
interest in our.
Wendell, I would say that when you look at this page and you look at really the last 6 months of 2025 versus our budget, we were above budget every month once we started this active work as marketing. You look at the months prior to that, we never made budget for the first 6 months. So it does kind of give evidence that the work we're doing is showing direct results. Yeah.
Can I,
Sam.
one note for just the film commission stuff, and thank you so much, would just be based on literally what you said. That those projects bring film tourism and screen tourism, and it's an actual marketable data number of 39% of people come here because they saw it in a movie.
Right.
39%. And over $6 billion have been spent in film tourism in the state of Utah, not in Moab specifically, but across the state. It's a real thing, and the Utah Film Trail markers that are around in Grand County and San Juan County as well would just be a nice little nod to the idea of the history of film, and that it is literally. I need one more slide, just asking for one more little slide.
Okay, give me a slide. Give me your slide. I'll put it there.
I can't make a motion, but.
Draw a picture of the slides so you can make it.
Anybody else?
I would just add on, just like noting the mitigation.
Yeah.
I think it's a big. Yeah, that like, we have this money that we talk about, that marketing, work on it, but realizing that this many dollars, this much percent of TRT funds goes directly to mitigation. And a couple of the
Some of
agencies,
those numbers of what it actually goes to, like how that was distributed? Or
Well, sure.
all of it?
I mean, yeah, majority of it we can share. And the reason is that offsets the general fund. You have a general fund right there, so that the general fund then has the ability to fund other things.
right, and I think mentioning that though too.
Oh, yeah.
So most of that money or all of it basically goes to the sheriff, but then also it gets distributed to a couple of the other agencies.
Indirectly it goes to, absolutely.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
there's a search and rescue.
Yeah, so just mentioning all the agencies that benefit from the mitigation dollars. And that does come out of, it offsets the general fund if we didn't have this money.
And the state is starting to talk about tourism benefits, tax collection as well. So part of TRT goes to the state and then they use it as well. So that portion we often don't talk about. It's really focused on Grand County, but to get the number that goes to the state and then how that is used, I believe it goes to roads and education.
And there's a portion that goes to the city.
Also,
No, it's a separate
TRT.
Yeah,
Goes to the city as well.
Yeah, but that's
Well,
it's 1.5%.
but the total is, it comes in around what, 4 million?
Yeah.
So 4 million that you guys can use unrestricted on anything. Plus,
It goes to our police department.
what's that?
It goes to the police department.
Police department.
Same idea.
Yeah, same idea. Yeah, because it's
Building in the other benefits, not just county.
That
Correct.
is mitigating tax tourism.
Howard.
Just to help you with the slide, just show them the expenditure report that we submit to the state, because that really details where all the mitigation money goes. Search and rescue, EMS, it kind of details exactly the dollar amounts to each of these mitigation funds.
Did you mention the state statute though, that now, I mean, film is now part of the tourism and promotion budget. It wasn't that before, but just what. It's about making sure the public knows, again, just repeat and repeat and repeat. That it's TRT and not the general fund,
Right.
clarity.
Wendell, what's your vision for getting this? We're presenting this to the commission.
Just commission, on March 17th, that's the next Tuesday.
Okay, and then like, once we have a final draft. What's the vision after that?
What's that?
Can we get this out to the public, after that?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be public because it'll be in, I mean, it's.
Right, but I guess what I'm getting at is just making, like, ensuring public is hit with, like. Maybe just getting it out on social media, like, we have our new overview out of the MTAB. Just kind of rinse and repeat. To make sure everyone knows, or as many people knows as possible, because I feel like there's just. People are like, I don't know how the tourism dollars get spent, well, no one really looks, first of all. But second of all, if we could sort of promote our own ideas of, or just what we do, just like promoting anything else in this town. I think that just the general public would really help.
So maybe like after Lisa Jeffers, or actually we would ask the commissioners.
That's what I was, yeah.
To have,
Yeah,
maybe she
and
could do
you
a
can look-
PR piece, or we could do
Yeah.
we could put on the website.
I'll check.
Yeah,
That's what I'm getting.
I'm actually getting to that in a second,
Yeah.
the next item, the agenda, so.
Yeah, maybe go in the Times. Anyway, just like, I just feel like everyone needs to just, any outlets to get people to know about what we do is better than that.
Well, that actually takes me to the next thing, was the letter that was sent to the commission, just recently. And that was in coordination with Lisa Jeffers, and it really goes to exactly what you're talking about. In trying to create, to make sure that the information is provided in a way that is easy to understand and is publicly accessible and can't really be refuted, or is presented in a way that we have control of. And so it was a good result of that was that commission unanimously approved the budget to be able to provide that kind of portal or communication to be able to put information regarding tourism tax dollars, how it's spent, so that we can have a more public facing, like, this is where your dollars are going, this is what it's being spent on, and this is what tourism brings to our economy. So that was what making sure that we have the tools to be able to put that information publicly, so there's not questions about how it was presented through the media or otherwise.
Right.
So that's so the good thing is that was approved, and actually Melissa told me to tell you as well that by our next MTAP meeting, she should have something up and running for us to be able to look at in terms of like something that the public can view and see all this information publicly. So that would be great.
Great.
Okay. Anything else on that? So we can move on. Yes, sir.
Just real quick, so Howard, I can get you those numbers for 2024 off of the report. 2025 won't be in.
Right.
Yes, sorry, yes, Jason.
Can I make a motion or something to move number 6 up? It's the scores of funding recommendations. The reason I'm asking is city has having an early meeting 5:30.
Yeah,
something like that.
Absolutely.
So I'm just wondering if we can I get it, maybe further.
You guys want to vote on the presentation?
You don't have to make a motion, but I can just do
Yeah,
that.
okay,
You
yeah,
can just
that's
do
right.
that.
That's right.
Okay.
You want to vote
So
on the
we're gonna-
presentation?
With that,
Your
Do we need to vote
presentation
on
to
the
the commission?
presentation?
I don't have that really.
Let's just do it for safety. I make a motion to applaud and accept the presentation that Wendell's put together for the March 17th meeting to the commissioners.
I'll second that.
There is a motion on the floor to be able to present the presentation with changes that I've including emphasis on mitigation to the commission on March 17th, seconded by Alex, Jason. All those, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Sharon's waving.
Coming up.
Thumbs up. Thanks, Sharon. All right, and Rebecca, she said that.
It looks really good, Wendell, just so you know, like,
Pardon me?
it looks really good.
Thank you.
classic color combination.
Yes.
Right?
Color combination.
I tried to be a little earthy, and that's Moab. So we're skipping on to number 6 for I know you guys just met yesterday for the special event marketing grants. So the subcommittee is Cora, Howard, and Jason.
And
So-
it's an advisor.
Yep, and so Cora or Jason or Howard, who would like to be?
So, we met yesterday and I apologize, like, I heard he sent this to Dana, right when we got done. And the updated Google Doc has a little bit different numbers in there and stuff, so, but the committee the committee column is what we decided on. And I can explain to you how we came to that if you guys have questions on it, if you guys. We also decided, we talked to you guys a little bit about some things, you know, like, if we were going to fund, content creation stuff, we kind of said no stuff, so we put that. And we thought that when we got done with this, we would have a workshop or create some guidelines for the other groups of what we did so that everybody's on the same page going forward throughout this year. And then at the end of the year, we can decide as a group or as a board, what we want to put on for the next year as far as guidelines, if there's some guidelines that we'd like to offer one on this process. That make sense?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So Western Spirit has an event called Outer Bike. You guys are probably all aware of it, seen it before. They requested $10,000 and we approved the full 10,000 for them. So, and then we had Voyager Outdoors, which is the Grenadier Gathering. It's a vehicle off-road vehicle gathering. And on this one we went through, and there's what's actually within their application had a lot of media content funding that. And so we subtracted that out and it kind of got it down to what was just being spent on promotion, and that was that 4,125.
Are these, because I know we were trying to do these in like categories of months or like, is this within that first time frame?
Yeah, so a lot of them, there's a lot of bleed over. And so each one of us we had a weighted, I think that each one of us did a weighted evaluation scorecard. And so like if they were in those off months, you know, it was like a 1 through 5, you know, it was like they were a 5, you know, or whatever. And then if they kind of bled into other months, but they're still a good event, then it might have been a 3, you know, so we had individual scorecards that we kind of were going off on for each one of us, you know. But a lot of these events are still in those shoulder seasons, you know, that are really popular, but they're good events and big, you know, and they're big still.
So we're gonna have like different groups, like from the dates had to be between this date and that date or not. I just don't remember.
There is a first subcommittee and then a second subcommittee.
No, I mean for the dates of the events that have to take place between a certain time.
The application period is different.
You were going to give preference
Yes.
to events in the shoulder seasons, and I think that was gonna be.
Yeah,
that's how you're.
Yeah, it was preference, you know, depending on, and that preference was, I guess, you could say, was how much funding they got, you know, for times of the year. So we got $4,125 for Voyager Outdoors. The Mad Muse events, those are all very much shoulder season and winter season, and so we funded all of those with the full amounts, and one of 1,899, 1,200, 3,800, and 5,000.
And some of those have already been completed.
Yeah.
With success.
Running Up for Air, let's see. The next one was Running Up for Air. They requested 400. It was an event that's I think it's probably in its second year and stuff. And they're kind of building up. They didn't request that much money, and so we funded them 400 to try to kind of help them get the word out to get more people in for that event. And then we had the Folk Festival. Folk Festival has been around for a long time. It does a really good things, I think, for the community, so we were funded it at 10,000. The Jenk Stars Building Man was an event that, as we got looking into it, they were over near Green River, you know, they weren't providing a lot of rooms here in town, if any. It was camping, and so we decided not to fund that one. The Youth Garden Project was their festival. They requested 500, not a lot of room nights. And there was a few in their application. They requested 500, and we funded that $250. So for that, that was fair. The Moab Museum, Botanical Garden. This is one that we wanted to bring back to the board and get your guys' input on. So can I circle that and come back to that at the end? And we can kind of explain that one. Utah C10 Club, the C10 Rally, is an event that's held at Swanee Park. It's an event that they bring a lot of people to town, and it's been building. They also give back to the community in the form of a donation to search and rescue, a lot of vehicles, a lot of hotel room nights, and but this event is during like the prime season. Yeah. So they asked for 10,000. We kind of took all that into consideration, and we funded that one at $7,375. That was the Dinge product, which was an event at the helipad here in town. They requested $1,000. And we looked at kind of their event and everything that it kind of brought in, and felt that 625 was appropriate for that event.
There was graphic design fees and production, like to create content.
Yeah,
Remove that.
so we removed that. That's what it came.
And what does Dinge Project do?
Was it kind of a
So it's
It's really hard to explain anything about that, really.
they have great online
It's just like
content.
free form, really anything. They have the helipad.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they've
Oh,
got
they have everything.
dance events, music events, food events. I mean, really kind of like diverse selection of people and events, and anyway, it's cool. It's definitely keeping Moab. Yeah.
So we funded that from, they requested 1,000, we requested it 625 after subtracting, the EV. Yeah. You want to go, move on and go back to that one quick question? The Wellness Collective is an event that's here in town. It's kind of a home right now. It's very local based, but they're trying to branch out and bring in people from Grand Junction, Fruita, Price, these areas, and it has to do with kind of mental health and that sort of stuff, in a weekend event for here. It's a good event, doesn't have a ton of reach. They requested 1,000. We thought it would be appropriate to fund that at $800. Vacation races. These guys had a really good application. They are promoting, these guys most of this event is at Old Osta at the Old Spanish Trail Arena. They are promoting it as camping out there. However, the amount of people that they were planning on bringing in was just huge, so I think that the amount of people that they're planning on bringing in, even if there is camping out there, there's going to be overflow to hotels, for families who don't want to camp. There's going to be, a lot of people eating at restaurants, and there's going to be, and it's a great event to have at Osta, just promoting Osta.
How many years?
It was
September 16th.
September.
Yeah.
What are they doing? At Trail Fest? I don't know what that is.
It's motorized.
No, it's money.
Right.
Like a 5-day event.
Yeah.
It's what?
5 days.
5 days.
No, 5 day.
Can run for 5 days.
Yes.
I used to be able to do that.
They requested 20,000 and just looking at like just how big that is and what it could bring. We thought it was a great event for the community to.
It's like an inaugural event. It's an event.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah. So then circling back to Moab Museum. They had a great application and their great application will really lay things out, you know, for the whole summer and kind of promoting events, you know, like getting rack cards for certain displays or whatever at the Moab Museum. It didn't seem to fit into the category of an event, being is that it was advertising things at the museum. However, I think that the Moab Museum, or we all kind of thought that it brings in people and possibly gets them to stay longer because they are, you know, because they're going to the museum or they see it, you know, and stuff. And it seemed like a great event to support. None of us just felt like it fit into the specific guidelines. It almost seemed like it needed to be like a marketing budget for like the whole year or something, you know, instead of an event, if that makes sense. That's kind of what we. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't really seem like, I agree with Jason, it didn't seem like an event. It was more like, this is their numbers for the whole year going into the museum. And I also brought the point, you do receive a fair amount of TRCCA funding from this agency too, as a general.
Can you elaborate on that? What other funding do they get from the community?
They got it from TRCCA. I can't remember the exact amount, but it's like $100,000 a year they're getting from this travel tourism taxes.
I think we all agreed that we wanted to support the Moab Museum, but maybe have a, you know, support separately from this grant.
From this grant.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it is a cultural experience people get when they go to the museum, but it's not, that cultural experience is not specific to a certain day. It's year-round. It's up to you. You've got people raising hands in the gallery.
Sorry, yes.
I don't know, do you want to entertain questions?
You're representing the museum.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, so if you want to answer this question.
I'd be happy to answer questions. I don't mean to interject or sway decisions here. In direct response to whether or not this is an event, just a point of clarification. This is America's semi-quincentennial year. The museum is hosting 4 events and 4 exhibits throughout the year, each of which will have a keynote speaker at the outset of that exhibit. That is the event for which we are seeking advertising and marketing fund monies for. Museum historically has been funded via TRT and TRCCA to the tune of $114,000 annually. Formerly as a department of Grand County, the museum split off, and the goal of that was to receive NEA and NEH funding, which is no longer largely available to the museum due to federal budget cuts. And the county is, and Commissioner Martinez can correct me here, for just the procedural steps. We're currently allocated 75% of that annual appropriation TBD on the last quarter based on TRT and TRCCA funding or tax dollars through the first 6 months of the year. That's our funding situation.
Y'all have pretty favorable lease agreements for the building, don't you?
Yes, correct.
Okay, what is it, $1 a year?
I'm not sure what the lease is. I think it's been $1 for.
Isn't that right?
It's a long period of time.
Yeah.
Just look at these speakers that you have. What's your expected attendance at these events?
Yeah, when I came onto the museum staff in 2022, we were receiving something around 4,000 visitors to the museum annually. This past year, we tipped the scales just over 10, with another 4,000 in program attendance. I think that the semi-quincentennial, following on the heels of U92, our year naming most successful to date, will continue to advance those trends. February, year over year, we saw a 23% increase in visitation.
So each program, we see between 40 and several hundred, as long as it's an event over the course of a weekend. April 24th is the next exhibit opening. It's a lowriders exhibit in tandem with the Rotary Club's annual Red Rock Car Show. And we'll have cars parked out on Center Street, permitting from the city. It'll be a weekend long event, so I expect several hundred over the course of that weekend. Yes, ma'am.
And this is to promote America 250?
Yes, it's the state and federal guidelines around America's Athletic Quincentennial have been to celebrate and commemorate the 250 years that the United States has been in existence post signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776.
Our talked about promoting America 250 here. It was difficult for us to think about ways, the ideas, travel and tour people would attract travel and tourism across the country. And so we're not saying out of Moab many events. So could factor into the consideration that these events tap into that much larger
It fits under that.
tourism idea. And
you have a question?
Yeah, just a quick question for Diego. Diego, what's your expectations of bringing people from the outside in? I think that'd be my one question. I kind of looked at the marketing budget right here.
Speaking to numbers, 92% of our credit card spend is from new people. We see a pretty infrequent return, I guess. So that to me says that the museum is receiving a ton of like first-time visitors, not just Moabites. And I think that the Office of Tourism might have the visitor data to say whether or not those are internal or external.
I understand your guys' your market is the same, but I'm asking like specifically for these events, are your marketing efforts to bring people in?
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Because
totally.
are they to let people know who are already here in town what's going on, right? Or are these reaching outside of Grand County to bring people from the outside in? I think that would be my big question, because when I look at the budget, a lot of the budget is for people who are already here to let them know, hey, this is something that's happening here, as opposed to, this is something that's, hey, we're reaching out. That's part of the goal of this right here is for Grand County to double its marketing efforts, right? So, the museum was to put in $5,000 to have people come from the outside, and then, you were putting in that 5,000, we have now $10,000 reach out. So it's just incentivizing that.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure that this is actually for bringing people from the outside in, as opposed to just letting folks know like, hey, there's going to be an event this week, right?
Yes. The answer is both, always. Speaking to Jason's point about extending the stay of the visitor in town, I think that we can all agree that offering visitors an opportunity to extend their stay, buy more hotel nights, shop around downtown, and eat food while visiting the museum. It diversifies the experience people have here. So yes to new people, yes to folks who are already here and want to extend their stay.
Because I barely just got a small little portion of what they were doing. I had a busy day, but they were doing a fantastic job. I saw inside the subcommittee meeting of discerning what was advertising Moab inside of Moab and looking what's coming outside and bringing it in. And that would be, and that'd be one of the suggestions that I would say that we should want to keep as we move forward in this process, is make sure that we're focusing on what the TRT funds are used for, which is bringing people from the outside in.
So that gives some really great insight. Everybody here kind of gave us insight we needed with this one special one. I don't know that it would be appropriate for the whole board to decide this, since the whole board hasn't decided the other ones. If it would make sense then this was the only question. I apologize if it would be appropriate for the three of us to step out, figure this out, come back, or if we approve it and have Moab Museum be a separate item again. With this, we had a request with everything. There was a request for $89,266.50. With the committee, what we approved to grant to people came out to $65,474. You know, and you know, and I think that
Is there another cycle in this year? So we're still up to 250, right?
Right.
So 65 minus 250 is what we have left.
correct, yeah.
It's the second round this year too, so we're, yeah.
I do have one question, we can talk about it on the side too, but this should be, the marketing funds should be double, correct? So
Yes.
when they're presenting their marketing fund, so if I'm seeing somebody that says 10,000 on their marketing fund, it's 20. So it's 20 cents.
Yep.
But we shouldn't be giving them 10,000 because I see one that's like that on there. So to have another look at it real quick.
Which
but
one was that?
It was the first one that we got, and when I was just going through them. And maybe I made a mistake on the. Looking at it.
And we could have made.
So bear in mind, this is all
Yeah,
after they've produced the receipts to prove they've done the marketing.
So if they requested 10. They can
I
only
think
get a grant
what
for
the
5.
question is if something in your requested
Right.
column, it says 10,000.
No, they requested 10.
yeah, but under their marketing budget, they have $10,000 on just,
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and they're doing.
we're getting 10,000.
They
I went through
requested
each one of the marketing budgets just to look at them, and that was the one that I was like, well. I just have a question on that.
That might have been attached outer bank.
Yeah,
Which one was that?
that's Outer Bike right
That
there.
was mostly for paid advertising.
Yeah,
No, but so outer bike requested 10,
requested.
or their whole marketing budget was 10,000, or is it 20,000?
They requested,
Pull it up.
they requested 10,000, so their whole budget would be 20,000. When I look at the receipts of what they plan to spend, they only plan to spend 10,000. So. I just want to make sure we're like, they're supposed to double it up, right?
So it's not an issue with this sheet. It's a.
No, it was an issue on the budget, and I don't think everybody else has access to. So,
So total marketing budget for Outer Bike marketing is listed 20,000, grant funds requested 10,000. And it's just the amounts.
yeah, but yeah,
Just the amounts totaling $10,000 are on the budget spreadsheet, so Meta ads and Google ads to total $10,000.
I know, but all the other ones look like they had that whole marketing budget, so you gotta see what what their contribution was as well, so like Diego had his, all 5,000, something total of his receipts that he was planning on spending. Not just
what they're spending.
Not just what there's the 10,000 on, so I didn't know
Yeah,
if we need to get clarification on that or.
making sure that the applicant shows their side of.
Correct, yeah, because that's.
Yeah, their line
important.
item.
We want to make sure that.
Of what they're spending.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't wanna
No, I'm,
muddy the water, but what we could do is if we have a question on that one and Museum Moab, we could, table those two and bring it back to the meeting next month. Would that be all right?
sure.
And then approve the other ones? Would that be?
And then just a question to actually getting back to, you guys might have the application, maybe Nikki can help me. The application period for the second application, would either of these events fall under that?
Either Outer Bike or the museum thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd have to look.
the next one is in, well, I think that we wanted to do these ones. Well,
Because we had the 18-month rolling, so I'm just
Yeah.
wondering, could we actually just take these two and table them to the next? And move these applications to the next period?
we
And then it's
could,
eligible?
unless these companies wanted to use that. We're planning this marketing money to get going, like September, I imagine they'd be starting earlier, and the Museum of Moab. Is gonna be, they probably don't, they're gonna be happening all summer.
April 24th is the next large one.
Yeah.
So-
All right, is this gonna be a reimbursement after people spend, or did we change our minds on
It's a reimbursement.
So they're spending the money anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, but they'll spend more if they know they have more.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
The next
How many
period is
years ago?
July 1 through June 30 of next year. And they're due May 1. So an April event wouldn't be eligible for the next period. I don't know when Outer Bike is.
Outer Banks October, yeah.
October, so they could apply by May 1 or the second round.
We wouldn't necessarily make them reapply, we just get clarification on that.
Clarification, move it on over.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
Just have a question as far as, we have this allocation of funds for this purpose. If we don't use all the money, is that money going to be returned back into our general marketing fund? I mean, are we going to wait until the second half of the year for that as well? We're going to divvy it up into two different blocks. 125,000 for each.
Conversation.
Something to think about, that's all.
I thought we always said it was going to, like, whatever was left over would go back into the general marketing fund. That's my.
So how that conversation, to my recollection, went, Howard, was if there's something that's left over, it would go back into the marketing fund. And the reason is we weren't trying to just make sure that you're pushing all this money out. You're trying to make sure that we had a carrot big enough to attract larger events. So rather than saying like we have to give all of this money out, it was like, hey, we do have this amount of funds that are available for something that would be really attractive for us. So
I would like to say that I think that the events for the Moab Museum would be a benefit to this community, and I would make a motion to fund some or all of their request for this period.
How does that work?
I would say, I think it would be cleaner if the people on the subcommittee made a recommendation so that the other applicants can't come back and say, like it was a 0 and then at this meeting, it all got changed. And I get you guys can change it because we are just making recommendations as well. You guys can look at all of these, be like, we disagree with you, we want this change, we want this lower. So I think that's the part of what this meeting is about. So now that I've said that, I think that, I think that it probably might be appropriate to, if you guys have changes that you guys want to the recommendations that we've made, this is the time to do that.
And what was the motion? I'm sorry.
I'm just making a motion to fund all or some of their requested funds.
We need to be a bit more specific with all or some.
Yeah, that's what I'm just having it.
So they're
getting that to the board.
There goes 5,535.
So we've already put the first one for the next, like rolling it over so that we can get clarification on the.
Can I make a comment on that? Can we just, like upon receiving the full budget, we can make that recommendation? I think if we're delaying their opportunity to market that event. When they
Also don't want to give favorable treatment to one over another, sort of thing. Just everybody else provided the right information and one didn't. Do you want to roll it over? It's up, just my thought. I just want to make sure that we are treating all of them the same.
No, I understand. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So
Are you gonna
Make a motion. Yeah,
to approve this? Are you guys gonna make a motion to approve all of this and then this goes to the commission?
yes, you have to get permission for approval.
So
But taking a couple of these out so that the committee can reevaluate and maybe.
I just want to say where this is all. Sorry, Alice, what were you saying?
You're suggesting that the museum's application just didn't go to like a specific event? Was that what you're?
Yeah, we just wonder if it fell under the umbrella of an event where there was a whole bunch of separate events over.
So it's kind of similar to like the Mad Moose events has like four separate events that they applied for separately.
They did, correct.
So maybe for a future reference, a museum could apply for their 4 separate events separately. Instead of having one in lump sum, but it's all basically the same thing because the Mad Moose events is all the same company, right?
They did it separately. But, yeah.
Right. And then obviously tailing their marketing to from outside of the county.
So I mean, like, yeah, like you could say like, yeah, I like to fund it at $5,535. Because someone can make a motion that be plugged in, right? That
Or even.
There's a motion on the table.
So we have a motion on the floor. Would you like to make an amendment to that motion?
Should, mind if I just give them?
Right?
Mind if I just give maybe just a quick little
Yeah.
suggestion here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe a suggestion would be to approve, would like to approve. And if there's something that needs to be looked at between now and then, that you approve them on certain conditions, right?
Is that what you're saying, correct? Yeah.
That these could be approved under certain conditions. So, you know, what an example might be that I approve the list right here, you know, pending, you know, going through and making sure that the Moab Museum is, you know, the expenses are for bringing people from the outside in and checking and verifying the expenses on the outer bike.
Right.
You could have something like that that you could go ahead and approve. And then you could send it to the commission if you wanted to.
Just a point of clarification, who is going to be tasked with auditing that?
The commission would have to make that decision. So just when it does come to the commission, we just want to make sure that that's noted right there, that this was after the event, so that it's not gonna. But like I said, I mean, it's your guys' call.
What's the motion again?
Yeah, so
I make a motion to fund the Moab Museum's events at $5,035.
I think we have a bigger.
$5,535.
Do we want to, since hasn't been seconded, we're just talking, do we want, as per your suggestion and kind of yours, what we're looking at an entire thing with some caveats maybe for the one event? So doing a multiple approval with the
Sure. So why don't we just lump the other, you know, without the two that were kind of up for discussion, let's just lump all the others together, make a motion for those. And then we can maybe make a motion for each, the outer bike and the Moab Museum separately with caveats specifically.
Then your motion.
Yeah. Or you can just let it sit.
Yeah.
okay. Second.
So our first motion is going to be to fund Voyager Outdoors, 4 Mad Moose events, Running Up for Air, Folk Festival, Youth Garden Project, C10 Club, Ditch Project, Wellness Collective, and Vacation Races.
Got the allocations listed.
At the allocations listed by the committee.
Let's second that.
The motion is by Alex, second by Jason. Discussion? All those in favor? Sharon's yes.
Rebecca? Jesus. Or she might.
She might.
Same.
So, hey, so
6.
okay, so that motion passes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's that?
I'm abstaining.
Okay, 1 abstention.
2.
Well, Rebecca's
Abstaining too.
she's abstaining.
Unless you say all opposed.
Oh, yeah. You can ask who's opposed.
What's that?
You can ask who's opposed and see if she comments.
I'm sorry. No. Yeah, I didn't think she was actually on there. So all those opposed.
You have to provide a reason for it, Steve.
Okay, next steps on this approval process.
Okay, I make a motion to approve Outer Bike for $10,000 once they give us a budget of their $10,000 spend. Of their side of the $20,000. So that's what we're missing, right?
I'll second that.
Okay. There has been a motion by Alex and for Outer Bike with the proof that they are spending the additional $10,000 to match the matching funds. And then seconded by Cora. Any discussion on that motion? All those in favor? Okay, Sharon, okay, so we've got 6. And all those opposed? 2 abstaining. Any other motions on these? Did we cover everybody? No,
Just the museum.
And the subcommittee recommendation there.
I think, yeah, if you wanna.
Sure, I mean, it sounds like the subcommittee was, wanted to bring to our attention, they were just unsure of how this would work out. And I think we got some clarification from Diego that the event is going to cover it's really 4 separate events. Correct. Yeah. And it will bring in visitors from outside the county. And I think it's a downtown event, and I see it, bringing people, hotel rooms, and, revenues to restaurants. So I feel that this is a beneficial marketing plan. So given that, Diego's heard that we'd really like to see money get marketed outside of the county to bring people into the county. And with that caveat, and I would make a motion to fund his request at $5,535.
Second.
Okay, Alex.
Discussion point.
Yeah, sure.
So just with this, there were some expenses that were taken off of other applicants. Funding requests that are sitting on for those same reasons.
So
we are gonna run into, and I can add on myself, but I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Funds have to be for outside in, so I don't know if you want to allow the museum to come back with a new proposal on how those funds will be spent. Because some of these are for telling people who are here to stay here.
Right.
I will say that there's a lot that Diego advertises that's in kind that's not included on here. I see a lot of his information on discovermoab.com. He has probably posted more events than anybody else on this chamber calendar. So there's a lot of in kind work that he does that's not included for in town, but
at the same time,
PCMU does go beyond.
I'm just gonna try to say.
Yeah.
We used one rule for 20 other people, and now another rule for one group. As a local, I can see a problem with that. So I just want to put that out as something that when it comes up to the board, I would have a problem. I personally would offer opportunity to say, are you able to come back with a request that says, I'm going to use this money to bring people on the outside in? And I think that would be totally acceptable. I just want to make sure that we're not offering.
Yeah, I totally agree. I
Yeah.
would defer to the subcommittee who's seen that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Sure.
the cost for some of those local advertisements is listed as 0 in their budget. So Times Independent advertising local, $0. Utah Public Radio advertising, $0. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
And the advertiser goes beyond Grand County.
So the advertising that will be done outside of the community to bring people in, what budget was that? What are they showing in the documentation?
So the total marketing budget is $11,070, with half of that being $5,535. Does Moab Sun News go outside of Grand County? Okay, so that's listed for $1,000. That's the only one that's for the audience that would be local.
Jim,
with the cost
Yeah, or like other, like marketing outside, bringing people in.
Correct,
Is that
so, yes.
I'm sorry, I printed it and I gave my paper.
Are you able to share the screen that share your screen with their budgets? A little bit easier for the public. Or do you want me to? Right.
Moab Museum had a budget. Do you have that sheet?
I can go through and read them real quick.
Well,
If that make it easier.
Send it to you in an email really quick.
Sure.
I feel like that would be a better.
There's something, well, there's silence. There's something to be said for, and I think that Diego used these words, the idea of people who are visiting here and bringing those people to potentially stay longer because of it. So Moab, some Sun News, and I believe that I do festivals that are the same. It's like, you already are here visiting, look at this cool event that's being put on here that you can extend your stay and come to. I'm just throwing that out, like, I know the idea is to market outside and bring in from like Fruta and Denver and blah, 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 but I'm just saying, like, also the local papers, people do at the hotel, I mean, people are reading them all over the place and looking at events that are happening locally to come.
No, I would agree. However, I think that the way we set the criteria up for this part of it, we would then open it up. We need to go back and look at a whole bunch of other ones.
Okay.
You know, so.
I wasn't, I just.
Yeah, it wouldn't be consistent throughout, but we do. I agree.
We did pull out any marketing that was done locally because we realized that is not going, even like the Moab guest guide, that's not distributed much beyond Moab. So that's for guests who are here. So that's not going to help bring people in. It's for, so we did that with every applicant. If we saw it was the Advertiser or the Times Independent, that's not really distributed beyond the zip code. So we were really focused on money that was going to be spent outside of Moab to bring people in. And that was to get for all of the applicants.
Yeah. Sharon has a question.
Sharon.
The Moab guest guide is actually delivered all over southeast Utah into Colorado. It's not just in Moab.
Good.
So
Yeah.
just letting you know that.
It's
They
correct.
they do take it clear down into San Juan County, down into that area. Yes, we actually help edit that for her. And it's not just in Moab, just for your information. It's not just in Moab.
And how many locals are gonna pick up a guest guide?
The locals don't pick up the guest guide.
Right.
It's for visitors.
Okay, so I pulled up what Cora sent to me. Would you like to walk through?
Sure. So at the top, Smart Press wrap cards, 1,350 counts. Looks like that might have already been taken place. That was for out-of-state visitors, visitor wrap distribution materials. US Postal Service newsletter mailing, $1,314. This goes to the, for the audience listed as current museum membership and donor list growing beyond the Moab Valley. Fast Signs billboard printing, $1,525, that's out of state visitors. Westridge Builders billboard installation, $1,100, out of state visitors. Chinley Ventures, is that correct? 1,500 out of state visitors, that's a highway billboard placement rental. KZMU underwriting, this is annual, $480. And their broadcasting range is Moab Valley and throughout Grand and San Juan County. Moab Sun Evergreen ad, $1,000, that's local. That's the one I mentioned earlier. Smart Press postcards, $253, that's out of state visitors. The Advertiser, $360. That's monthly, or start date is monthly, sorry. Times Independent advertising listed at $0. Utah Public Radio, $0. Moab Guest Guide, full page ad, $3,300. The audience listed as out of state visitors. And there's notes included, I can go through those as well.
Reminder, you have a motion and a second, and this is all discussion.
There's a motion on the floor. This is still discussion. Yes.
It just seems like, other organizations could use this funding for their events. Like CNHA is a great one. They do a speaker series. Why not? That's part of their ongoing operational aspect. So again, we're looking at a specific event, something that is outside the ordinary. So the museum is open every day and people can go there. It's really to bring people in, like for a running race. And really, that's where my mind was focused on this subcommittee. It was really looking at events, not just general operations.
Well, I think they are special events as part of a series. So more similar to the Mad News series.
Sorry about the exhibits too, but they do change, but it's, that means we're doing advertising for the museum. It's not really a specific museum event. If it was a speaker that was going to speak to 1,000 people, then I'd say yes.
He does have speakers, right?
Yeah, there are
that makes sense.
speakers as part of this.
It's tricky.
He has speakers. But please, at each one, there are keynote speakers.
What was your suggestion, Brian?
I would like to make sure that we're using the same criteria that we used for the other events.
I agree.
That was my only suggestion.
Okay, there's things that need to be pushed on.
I don't want to see different criteria, and as I even look back at it, I don't think that we can change the application either. Because none of the other applicants have the option to change to change theirs. So I think that whatever is on here right now is kind of what we have to go with. So I would just ask that you guys use the same standards that you used for the other applicants to go ahead and apply this.
I apologize, I gotta go.
Okay.
I gotta pick up a council member that's broken the.
Unfortunately, I can't talk. So we've got a motion on the floor, so. Yes, I let you speak. Yep, are there any amendments or this is for?
Yeah, I could offer a substitute motion.
Substitute motion on the floor from Alex.
We could look to fund the events minus some of this local advertising at $4,535.
Repeat that.
So looking at some of the more specific details, I would offer, we just subtract most of those local advertisements besides the guest guide, which I do feel like is an out of county advertisement.
So the $1,000 with them on site.
What I'm suggesting is that we fund, the request is $5,535, and I'm suggesting funding $4,535. After subtracting several of the Sun and a couple of the others, I can't read them from here right now, but it was about $1,000 worth of.
One ad is $1,000.
Yeah, and that's the total budget.
Sun's line
says
1,000, so we'd be removing that.
I'd be removing $500 plus there's another local, the advertiser.
Okay.
And
so you want to subtract 500 from the Sun.
300 from the advertising session.
300 especially advertising.
It's listed as 360 for the advertiser and 1,000.
I took half of those.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what his budget is. Like for the whole thing, so.
I'm just trying to get your motion.
My motion is for the amended motion suggesting we fund $4,535.
$4,535. Is there this is the amended motion.
This is the amended motion.
We need a second for the amended motion.
I second.
Okay, Sharon seconds. Any discussion on the amended motion? Okay,
One quick question then. Just looking at the board members, does this look like it falls in line with the same scrutiny that we applied to the other candidates?
I think it does.
Okay.
all those in favor? Sharon. Let's. Or. All those opposed? Howard. And say. So we have the, just to go through again, just to make sure we have all this right. We have the motion that was approved, basically approving the other items on here with the caveat that the Western Spirit Outer Bike has to make sure that they're doing the matching funds. And then the second one was for the museum, and that was in the amount of $4,535, taking out some of the local spend, making sure it was concentrated on the out-of-state markets to bring people in. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Right. And it is 5:03. If you guys have time, I'm not going to go through really much more. I'm just going to quickly show this, but not much. If you guys want to stay for 2 minutes. No, I wrote this today, but Brian, you said that there was something about this that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can go ahead and look at it,
Alright.
but it's a fiscal year, it starts in February.
Yeah.
And then moves forward, so it doesn't start, it's not in January.
And you actually, the county actually works.
The county's on a calendar year, so this doesn't follow the one's calendar.
So these were actually, these are.
There's a little bit opportunity for some confusion there.
So you're on item 5.
Hey,
You're on item 5 of the agenda.
yeah, sorry about that. Yes, I'm new to this. I am now on item number 5, TRCC monthly review overview. We had discussed trying to get monthly numbers so that we could look at how we're trending. And so Gabe has agreed to provide me with monthly numbers, and as part of that, I asked him for some historics, so we could look at how we're trending over different taxes, as well as what we're trending against budget, as well as showing how it goes adjusted for inflation. And so what he put together here was basically just a snapshot of breaking it down with TRT. More important ones, I guess, if you look at the graphs, the first one is monthly sales tax. And you can see how in 2025, we get a big bump. And remembering too, that December actually represents October. It's 2 months behind, or TRT terms of. So right now I'm looking at the total monthly sales and use taxes actual versus budget. And if you keep looking through, you can go month by month, looking at it, how it compares to 2025 to 2024 and 2023. You can see how sales tax revenue has gone up in 2025, adjusted for inflation, though we've continued to basically decline since 2021. So just, kind of showing adjusted for inflation that year over year, we have seen a gradual decline, and it's showing a budgeted decline in 2026 as well. These other two separate standalone pieces of paper, one is transient room tax, and that is adjusted for inflation. It just basically shows how TRT has, we're growing. I mean, we're trying to grow it, but adjusted for inflation, it's been remaining flat. And then TRCCA revenues, while 2025 shows a sharp increase, if you look at car rental, that's where we've really seen the biggest dip was in car rental, which includes.
It should,
I shouldn't.
but
Okay.
there should be a separate number
Okay.
for
So
await
That's-
fees,
that's-
which is not included.
it's a little bit different, so this is not as listed under the monthly distribution. So there's been some items rolled into it. So you're gonna actually have to take like OHV and car rental. They're not split off like they used to be. So if you were to look on the state website, you'd see two separate categories, but he's rolled them into one on this. Same way with sales tax. You're gonna see county option, and then there's the 4% option. They've all been rolled up into one. So you have to actually take the two numbers on the monthly distribution and add them together.
But we just wanted to show that we are making progress in 2025, particularly if you look at October, which was the December numbers that you know, Brian pointed out before that you know, we really didn't we got Madden in July, and so we hadn't had a really concerted effort to go out there and market until July of this last year, and we're starting to see the returns in TRT and TOCC in the end of 2025. But keep that going. I don't want to spend too much time into that.
So this total sales and use tax revenue.
Yep. For inflation.
It looks like it's still declining.
Yes. So while, you know, you have to adjust for inflation. So our TRT total for 2025 went up very slightly over our total sales tax has gone up very slightly over 2024, but a lot of that was due to the end of the year because we were trending below, well below in the middle of the year, and then we had a sharp uptick at the end. So.
Okay. Thank you.
It was just a snapshot. I just wanted to give you guys numbers, and again, taking into consideration this is February through March, not January. And last, so we can get going. Howard, item number 7, airport discussion. Just give us an update.
The bids are in the airport. We'll discuss it next week in our meeting, and we'll let you know. But there were 4 bids.
How are the decisions made, Howard?
Pardon me?
Who gets to decide ultimately who the
Commission decides. Ultimately, they'll base it on the recommendations from the airport, the consultant, and the airport board. But really, the commission decides.
So it's not the federal government that decides.
Pardon me?
It's not the federal government that decides.
I don't think so.
It's the EAS contract.
I think the 4 bids are here, and there's a 4th bid yet.
Okay,
They didn't actually come into town, but there was a 4th bid.
okay, thank you. I just wanted
Can you
to
say who
clarify.
saw it?
Pardon me?
Can you say who it was? I know who the other 3 are. Can you say who the?
I know it was Denver Air Connection, Contour, and Sky West, and then there was a 4th one that came in
Denver
late.
Air was one.
Yes.
Denver Air. Yep, right.
Yeah, and then just a quick update from the legislature this year. So we had 231, which was the restaurant tax repeal, and that ended up failing out there. So, and that was I think that in some of the smaller some of the communities, they saw it as moving that tax from the restaurants over to just the general tax, and that would have been a good thing. But for folks here in southeastern Utah, I think that would have been moving that tax from the restaurants, which is mostly tourism dependent, onto the general residents. So if you are excited about that, Representative Monson and Carl Albrecht were instrumental in getting that turned down.
And it's my understanding that will be reintroduced in the next session.
Right, and it will be something that I think that we can talk about at this board, which is one way that we can actually protect those funds is we can bond against them. So if we were to bond against the restaurant tax, we can keep that, the state can't take that tax away once they're bonded. So it could be an option for this board to look at bonding against that restaurant tax and protect them.
But that didn't change this year, did it? It didn't pass the law.
Not passed this year.
They're good.
Okay, and then the second one that's for this board right here was the rural film incentive. When we did get $3 million on a very tight budget year, it's a very tight budget year. The losses that we had previously, $12 million, that was for that incentive. But the folks that were up there, we fought really hard and talked with a ton of people to try to make sure that incentive stays there. Film is such a big part for Grant County. in our economy, especially in the off-season months when they do show up.
I was just thinking about the restaurant tax. I remember seeing, I don't know what the outcome was, but they were trying to say that prepared foods, like such as like convenience stores, were gonna have to pay.
That passed.
Last
That was
year.
last year, and that was the big lobbying funds that were happening, to try to get this restaurant tax passed. And it's coming from folks who have those prepared foods, and there's a lot of confusion, like, let's say that you buy a donut, right, that you put out there, and you sprinkle, this example that they use, and then you put sprinkles on it. Now it's prepared food.
Yeah.
Right, and so some of these places were having troubles distinguishing what gets that tax and what does not get that tax. And I think that there's some folks that are just upset that there's that tax on there.
Yeah.
On the end of it. So.
And before we do board reports, really quickly, I just do a branding update, item number 8.
Happy to do it, and then you also had item. What's that? Did you review item 4 on the agenda? But
yeah,
item the letters.
Yep. Yeah, like that. We went through that earlier.
Okay. Great. Branding update. I sent you all an email with our brand platform. This comes after our strategy presentation and the completion of phase 1. And thanks to Jessica from Camp 4 who made it through this very lengthy work. It is still online. And so please all take a look at the brand platform. I also included our current guidelines, and I hope you can see that this is a major update.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw those on the 4 years that I've on the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the previous one.
Yeah, this is something that, when I came into the office and I said, where do I have the tools to do marketing work? These were our guidelines. So this is the update. Please review it. Send comments to me and Wendell, and we can make updates, and we'll get that finalized. The first slide, says that this is really the foundation, right? So this is something that we will use in our office, but also as we engage outside partners, this is something that helps them get to know us and the kind of the guardrails with the way that we present in our strategy and brand guidelines. So we're moving into phase 2. This is our first deliverable in phase 2. As I said in the email, Wendell and Brian met with us early in the brand platform when we first presented it and weighed in on it. I plan to continue to update you all via email and bring them in as we move through the visual identity phase to get their feedback. That's my update. Oh, the other we are also thinking that we'd like to have a workshop on this to present this, so that you all hear it before, but also make that like publicly walk through the platform and maybe pair that with some of the other deliverables that are coming, like that are architects coming up, other aspects of visual identity. So that's my update.
Thanks. And really quickly, want to do board reports. I will start really quickly. No, things going well. It's a beautiful day, beautiful weather outside. We've got lots of people in town. It's kind of refreshing to see the new energy of people coming into town, and excited about the season. I'm excited, to see all the hard work and our agencies have been doing come to fruition.
The season started early because of the lack of snow, and we're just doing our best to do a good job every day that we're doing a job. It's not a job, it's an adventure. And that's okay.
With the chamber, we have a workshop coming up through a partnership with Moab Valley Multicultural Center and the lawyer that they have on retainer. It's Immigration 101 for businesses that will be held Thursday, March 19th from 9 to 11 at the Department of Workforce Services building on King Creek Boulevard. We'll review different work visa types, associated documentation, and how to support employees on their path to citizenship. And then we also have our golf tournament on May 8th. This year, we've partnered with a number of different organizations to provide additional training opportunities, both online and in person. So our chamber members received that in an email just earlier today. On there are a lot of community events as well. Yeah, so exciting this year.
Yeah, spring in Moab, we're showing up, so we're happy to see that. Weather's looking good and it's gonna be hot before we all know it, right? So far business is slightly up from last year, so that's a good thing. And patio season starts tomorrow. So, yeah, we're on like that. And that's all I got.
You want me to go?
You can do your board members.
Sharon.
Okay, we've definitely seen an uptick in visitors at the MIC, this week. Our hours are 8 to 5 right now. That started on Sunday, and then on the 29th, we will go 8 to 7. The restrooms are now open till 9 p.m. Arches will be 8 to 4 until further notice. They still do not have all their hirees, or they haven't hired everyone yet. So it'll still be 8 to 4 until probably through April. To be determined, I guess. Other than that, we're just putting all new computers in all our stores. So few issues today, but finally got to get on. So thanks for waiting for me.
Right, Howard.
Margot Zan, who is Canyon Spirits Guest Experience Manager, apologizes for not being here today in the middle of startup. On a very optimistic note, our ticket sales for this year are currently trending 500% above last year. So we sold 11,000 tickets this year. And I would certainly tell the folks that are near the Element and the Hyatt Hotel, expect quite a busy Wednesday and Friday nights, because that's our overnights for the Salt Lake Connection. But we're very excited about the season, and Margot will come next month or the month after to kind of give you a more detailed overview of the product.
Rebecca.
Hello. I just want to remind everybody who has not RSVP'd to my grand opening to RSVP, Mick. Thank you.
You've got 2 RSVPs. You've got Mick and Cora.
Oh, I've on the list a couple times.
Cora's already on there. We got Cora.
Yeah.
19th, okay, yeah, okay.
Did you RSVP, Howard?
Everybody's excited about it too. I've talked to some people who have been and talk about the refresh and how excited they are about it. So, yeah.
I'm so excited to see everybody. That's what I'm excited about.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Talking of invites, I almost forgot, but we are inviting anybody that would like to come and meet the train at Thompson, either for the first departure to Salt Lake City, the first arrival from Salt Lake City. So we can get those dates. The commissioners, mayor, anybody from this board, more than welcome to come out and welcome this train in.
We can't ride on it?
Pardon me?
We can't ride on it?
Can.
Oh, come on.
Buy a ticket. This train's pretty sold out.
Do you know when that'll be around?
Pardon me?
Do you know when that might be? Do you know when that?
Yeah, the first arrival, the first departure to Salt Lake City will be on Thursday, the 9th of April, about 1 o'clock. And then the next day, the train will come back. That's a Friday. The train will be here about 2:30 at Thompson.
Cool. You already given yours?
Yeah, I was there. I just wanted to make sure I hit those updates from the legislature.
Yes.
No, I was,
We'll send an invite.
okay. I'm blocking out my calendar.
No, mine was just, I mean, it was repetitive. It's a super bummer, but the money still exists for now until we still have the 12 million until that gets spent. There's still some money available actually this year, which is great. The fact that all the work that we all did across the state, and thank you to the commissioners who helped support that. The 3 million is something. And I can't talk about anything that's coming or not coming. So nice to see you all and thank you for your support.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And I will, if you would send me your slide, the slides you want, send me those ideas and I'll include it in my presentation. All right, it is 5:20 and I'm going to call this meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Good job.
Bye, friends.
When are you submitting? You're gonna have everything review this.